Yeah, have you ever seen a concept that is so incredible? It's modeled after the same understanding how Lucifer tricked Eve into believing something that would harm herself, that would harm not only herself but the whole world. But that set a precedent, a field, a model for the rest of the entire history of humanity. And I'm going to bring it home where now, even so, the opposition party of the United States of America that fought so hard to keep slavery in, they created the whole scenario of the Civil War. And before there was a Civil War, these opposition parties who was actually using America for their own self-centered benefit began to name and blame people for their unfortunate ability to be born an African, which is half human or not quite human, and not a man or woman necessarily. And so they're the blackest people on the earth. And even before that concept was introduced to humanity, black is considered less than or worse than white, is an extreme example between black and white. For instance, even biblically, you have to be washed as white as snow in order to get to heaven. You have to be able to put on a long white robe. I saw a white light from heaven, and all of these concepts of white is good and black is bad. In other words, the dark side of the web, the dark side of town, or I had a dark period in my life. I had a black time in my life when I was thinking bad thoughts, and even if you tell a lie, it's okay if it's a white lie. But if it's a black lie, it's the worst kind of thing. I remember when I was a child and somebody came out to, in scorn before they use all of these languages, profane languages now that is so commentary, so easy to roll off of your lips. You would say, "You're a black dog." It's like the worst kind of thing. And even people would say to us, "Oh, you don't want a black cat. That's bad luck. Get a white cat or a gray cat or something, but don't get a black cat. It's bad luck. If a black cat crosses your path, it's bad luck." Now, that have become a synchronizing concept in our minds. Now, that's okay, but if you can convince a whole segment of people that they are black, and then that's not a bad thing, but convince the person that black is good for you. I believe Nixon invited James Brown, the rock and roll singer, rhythm and blues singer, to the White House and gave him, an award for creating this song called "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud." So that song would keep blacks in their place. So they won't want to be like white people. Just be black. And so we're black. I'm American. Did you ever heard an Asian say I'm Asian American or I'm white American? Why do you think that a certain segment of the population got to identify themselves by their color? I'm black American. It's the same thing as the guy say, "I'm gay." What is telling you that my sexual orientation is designing my identity. It is my identity. So we do the same thing with black. I'm black. It's my identity. But everybody knows subconsciously that black is bad. is scary, right? Why can't you just say, I get sick and tired of hearing people say, I'm the first black that did this and the first black that ever done so and so. Have you ever heard any so-called white people say, I'm the first white person who jumped over the moon. I'm the first white person who invented a car. I'm the first white person. No. Why do we have to say it? Why do so-called African Americans or black Americans have to identify themselves as the first black somebody who ever done something? Whenever we say that, we keep separating ourselves further and further away from reality. Because there's nobody that's black. There's nobody that's white. You can't find white people or black people. Where did that come from? It came from a psychological concept of brainwashing. To the point that you are subhuman and you have to identify yourself as a certain way in order for you to be able to be accepted. And then we fight. We fight because we are black. And you have to understand that I'm a black person and so forth. The opposition party who went to war, that the Africans would never be able to identify as an American person only. And that's called the Civil War. And even convinced some of the African slaves who came from Africa to America and other parts of the world that they should fight with them. Come on my side, on the side of the Confederacy, which are now the Democrats, to work with them, because we know what's best for you. And some did. And of course, England's sitting on the sideline, waiting for the opportunity to weaken America so they can come in and begin to take it over again like they did before the Revolutionary War. But however, God prevailed. Now, those same people who lost the Civil War, the Democrats, created another organization that was the first organization of its kind. Is called the terrorist group now, and that's the Ku Klux Klan. And even today, these same people who were bound and chained and whipped and beaten as slaves is backing the Democratic Party, which created the Ku Klux Klan. And then when that was shut down and they went underground, they never did disappear to this day. They went underground and created Jim Crow. And when that didn't work, segregation. And when that didn't work, they just decided that we're going to create a welfare system and public housing because these people are still not qualified to be completely Americans. So we have to take care of them in their little places. So they piled them, all of the so-called people in the same area and called it the ghetto. And then the same people that renamed it the hood. And this crime, because you got the same kind of thinking people who believe that they're black, believe that they're less than anybody else, and they're always trying to be like that. Why do you think these young girls who call themselves African American have to wear these long braids so they can do like the white girls? And they call that black. That's why people have been wearing braids since the time of the beginnings. That's not a big deal. But somehow we're constantly looking for something that identifies us as separated black people. But you always want to criticize the other side, that they think you're better than you because you keep calling yourself black, nigger this and a nigger that, black this and black. You're sanctifying yourself to be lower than everybody else. Keep doing it over and over and over and over. Rather than saying, have you ever heard anybody. Just be an American. Before we were identified as any kind of color, we were just, oh, the African man, oh, the Jewish man, oh, the Frenchman, oh, the person there from Ireland, come here. They didn't call anybody by any color. And then once that sunk in, and then we began to protect it and sanctify it as this ours. We are black. Don't mess with me now, because I'm a black person. You ever heard any commercial saying, "Oh, come to my establishment. It's a white establishment, and you should support them." But I'm a black businessman. I have a black business over here. Or I'm the first black that ever did this. The first black. Please, let's get a grab. All we need to be is human person with integrity. Live your life so that God can be proud of you. Live your life so that other people can be proud of you. Don't hang out with the crowd. Accept every kind of information that comes to you because it sounds good, or you're being pushed to follow the crowd based on some new hip thing that's just said. Oh, that's dope, man. Oh, that's cool, man. Oh, that's so black, man. And all you're doing is backing yourself up from reality over and over and over. After all of these years, we're still grappling with the concept of identity. Is that real? You haven't taken an inventory of yourself to know who you are, apart and separated from all the rest of the people. God made you unique and beautiful and whatever you are. So let's get a grip on this thing. You go far with it. Don't let people brand you and then you fight and accept that brand as yours because somebody told you you were black. Somebody told you that. You didn't come out born, "Hey, everybody, I'm black." Somebody said, "Oh, you're black." "Oh, that's who I am? I'm black? Okay, I'm black. I'm a black African American." It's silly. Let's be real, folks. That's important that we're real more than anything else. Let's live our life so the world can see who we are. Okay? God bless you. We love you. And stay principled in all that you do, all that you are, wherever you go.